Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to hear
I
about
am so
this.
excited to tell you. So it was really a healer's test, but it felt like the Olympics. I don't know why it had to be so fast. Like, cause I showed up. So this is in Tucson. It's in a laboratory, and cause I want to be a part of research. I want to just see because it's so much fun to see what this stuff does because it's invisible most of the time. I mean, we hear from clients and we can feel it or whatever in ourselves, and we have that, validation. But
Well, you're also like the science teacher and you want to like see
exactly.
it,
Yeah,
right?
like, it was so
Prove
cool.
it.
I had so much fun, but it was I was sweating. Like, I was like I felt like the people who do hurdles,
Mhm.
whatever they're called. I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "I have to go to the bathroom." Like, I kept being like, "I have to go to the bathroom," because I had drank a lot of water and electrolytes and things like that to make sure I was super
Hydrate.
hydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not like copping out. I get so excited. That's another thing that happens to me before a soccer game. I would go to the bathroom, and then the minute before a soccer game would start, I'd have to go to the bathroom again. Like,
Yeah.
so anyway, same thing happened when I saw Joe Dispenza recently. I was like, I just peed. So I'm like running to the bathroom. I'm like, I can't miss a minute or a second of this. So anyway, but back to the healer's test. So this first of all was very fast, but the cool news is I broke two laws of physics doing it, which I wasn't obviously anticipating.
Right.
And she, so they have all these like really sensitive instruments. So she's like, okay, send a current, and then she's measuring the current going back and forth between my hands. She's like, okay, now hold the current, so don't send it, like, turn it off basically. And so she measured that, so there had to be a significant change. I went to a 9 and then down to a 2. So that was evidence that it had stopped. She was measuring whether I could, when I cleared my energy, like if it cleared and then it refilled, and it did. So the ways that I broke the laws of energy was, sorry, the laws of physics was, had to measure whether I do DC current from my body, and which is very very rare. So when I told her that, I was like, what's the energy that can jumpstart cars that have dead batteries? And she was like, oh, you're probably running DC. And I was like, great, okay. So she's like, let's test DC. So she pulls out the instrument, starts to bring it towards my hand. I go, are you measuring DC? And I started laughing, and then the signal sent, and she was like, okay, next hand. So I was like, I just did it right away. I wasn't even like trying.
But like, what?
So
Okay, wait, back up real quick. What do you do? You just say, okay, do what you do to start a car. Like,
no,
what do
I
you do?
didn't even know.
You didn't
Like,
do
it just
anything.
naturally was coming out of my hands. Like, I laughed. I guess my laugh has DC current, which is interesting because Spirit has said that like my voice also is very healing, and that's why I should do the podcast.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Like, it was very, I can't wait to play like more with these ladies. So anyway, so she measured the other hand, and there was DC current. So I was like, okay, I kind of knew that, like, that's cool, but apparently that's breaking one of the laws of physics. The other was even cooler, aim. So
Ah,
she gives me a cup of water, and she placed it on the desk. You're not allowed to touch it, you're not allowed to spit in it, you're not allowed to do anything to it, obviously. And so she's like, okay, you're gonna change the pH of the water. I can't even believe I'm telling you this shit. This is so crazy. So I'm like thinking in my head, like, how do I change the pH of this? Like, I've never done that before. I mean, I've sent love to water and things like that, but I haven't like specifically changed the pH. So I'm like, okay. She's like, it's currently 8.9. So it's high pH water, which was, I noticed that actually Arizona has very tasty water. So that might be it. But
mhm.
anyway, so it was 8.9, and she's like, it would be fantastic if you could make it 7.0. And I was like, okay, great. Let's do it. So
So you just set the intention.
yeah, so I had 10 minutes, and she's like, you don't have to do the full 10 minutes. And I was like, after about 5 minutes, I was like, I think it's done. And so, by done, I meant like, I think I probably had gotten it to
Yeah.
7.0. And
Yeah.
like, you just have to prove that you can do it. It's like a pass fail kind of thing, not a like, wow, look at this. So I was like, check it. And so she did, and it was 6.8. So I dropped it significantly. What is that? Almost 2. Um, right? Yeah. I'm doing
Yeah.
it in my head. Yeah. So 8.9 to 6.8, which is huge. That's
Yeah.
3. I don't know. It's close
Yeah.
to whatever.
6,
Yeah,
9
it's
to 6.
3.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah, it's 3.
Right. Because it's a high, I don't know, whatever. 2, but Doesn't matter.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
You
See,
passed,
listen,
you did
I did
it
the
better than
energy
she
healers
asked.
test. Yeah, no, I did. I did do better than she asked. And the way that I broke the laws of physics was I didn't change the parts per million of the water. So that means that I was able to change the pH without actually changing the structure of the water.
Wow.
So she was like, "Okay, Amy, in order for for you to be in the studies, you have to change the particles per million because that's what's supposed to naturally happen, and they would just need you to do it." So she's like, "So just change the parts per million." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So that was easy actually. So I just channeled in some parts per million and I immediately changed it in 10 seconds. And she was like, "Wow, you did that 3 quantum fold." And I was like, Okay. I was like, I don't even know what that means, but great. That's awesome. So I passed that test. So that's where I broke the laws of physics. And then the
Wow.
other thing that was cool was I got hooked up to machinery that they have on the shuttles that go out into the sky. What the hell are they called?
Space
Rocket
shuttles.
ships, space shuttles, yeah, rocket ships, rocket ships, and so they use these to help diagnose, like, what's wrong with people, from what I understand, that's what she was telling me. So first she scanned my energy field, so I had to do each finger, all 10 fingers, and it makes a blueprint of your energetic field, and then she says, "Okay," and then she prints it out, and she's like, "Okay, pick something to heal, and then we'll scan you again to see that there was a change." So I picked my neck because my neck actually was out. Like my neck was really hurting me. And I knew that it was about speaking my truth, about really stepping into my light. It always freaking comes up. It's really annoying.
Mhm.
And I had been working
'Cause
on
you're
it all.
always doing it.
I know. It's like,
You're always stepping into something
it's so
more, right?
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, time for this program to go. So I sat down, I had 10 minutes. I did take the full 10 minutes because I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. Because it was bothering me all morning and it was being annoying. But I did apparently change it. I felt the change in my body, but also when they scanned my fingers, the exact piece of my neck was gone, or actually significantly decreased. And so she said that was enough. And then she goes, now you have to do this other woman, and she's actually going to be on the podcast. She's one of the other laboratory um runners, laboratory employees.
Researchers?
Yeah, researchers. There you go. Um
I'm doing
and
good with the word finds
yeah,
today.
what the hell is wrong with my head?
Uh-huh.
I'm so
You have a
excited.
lot going on.
Yeah, I do have a
Yeah,
lot
it's
going on.
exactly.
I just got into town like
Yeah.
2 days ago. So
Yeah.
anyway, so then she got scanned the same way, and then she had to pick where she wanted to be healed. And I had to do that and then show again that I had done the healing. And of course I did. So she picked her ankle, I healed her ankle, but I wasn't even touching her. I wasn't, I I think she was kind of like, wait, aren't you gonna come near me or anything? I was like, no, I'm just gonna sit here and just work on your holographic, image.
And so you were
Um,
doing your things where you move your energy,
yeah,
your
where
healings that you
yeah,
do
my
with other
healings.
people. You're
E
yeah. Okay.
Exactly, yeah, like, and I was clearing some programs that were related to it, and I said to her, I'm like, "Do you want me to tell you what I, got out of this, so that you have it for information?" She was like, "No, I don't really care." But then, like, we all kinda giggled, and she was like, I know exactly what it is," and then she said it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's what it is." So anyway, that was fun. It was so cool because first of all, I'm very excited to be a part of research, just for the simple fact of taking the invisible and making it visible.
Mhm.
I
It
that
it
was
is a lot of validation that, like, I mean, you know what you're capable of, but it's like on paper that it
right.
validates what you're capable of. And a
Yeah.
lot of people don't believe it. And it's like, you can't, this doesn't lie. These are facts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So then I was like,
That's
I mean, let me just tell you, I was really scared to do this. I was excited and a little bit scared because it's like,
yeah.
hey, you've been doing this for 16 years. You think you
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Put your money where your mouth is. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay. So like I was really kind of
I
nervous.
get that.
And so when I walked into the lab and I said to her, I'm like, listen, do a lot of people come here nervous? And she's like, most people are terrified. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not
Okay.
terrified. So that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
one of 1,200 people across the globe that have been tested for this. So then after you get
Wow.
tested, you get to pick your fields that you want to work in. And so I have to do that. I also have to do like an ethics test and something else, just all written stuff. So I'm not worried about it. But um, it's going to be exciting. And by the way, she's moving from Tucson to Colorado. So she's going to be just a few hours away. And so that's going to help to make it even better just to play with her and her laboratory stuff. And
Wow.
yeah,
That
I'm
is
excited.
so awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
it was cool. It was for sure. So one of the things she said to me when you do it, the test, she's like, it actually changed the healer. And for me, it really did. It really changed my level of confidence in what I do and in myself, and just being like, this is the way that it is, you know. Um, I know I do this stuff and now you can't argue with me, you know? Like a lot of
Yeah.
times I feel the pressure, you know, of other people being like, what you do is, you know, BS or, you know, that kind
Yeah,
of
it's other
stuff.
people's doubt.
Uh-huh. Right. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, I put my money where my mouth is
Yeah.
and it really is there. And I have
That's
proof. And that was awesome. And I broke 2 laws of physics. Like that's really cool. So immediately I also ordered
crazy.
a t-shirt that says ACDC that says high voltage and has electricity running across the heart. That was fun.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love that so much. I'm so happy for you. I love that you got that validation and got to experience that, and you have that confidence. So you always are confident, but
It
it's
just took
just
it to another level for
yeah.
me.